Hello and welcome to my channel on human design. Well, I've had a number of questions regarding inner authority and people agonizing over if they're doing it correctly and it's not working, etc. So I thought I'd put them all together in this video and address them. Let us start with the first question from Eris. I got the opportunity just now to listen to a bunch of questions while being in a very conscious and aware state, while really feeling my body. And I couldn't generate a simple uh-huh or uh-uh. Just really silent, a vague sense of agreement or disagreement, but that's it. I'm a split definition between my sacral and G and wonder if that's relevant and just need a correct activation. Or am I just really conditioned and not really in contact with myself? Might be a mind trip, but my sacral, it's just specific for what I personally need to experience while ignoring everything else and not a general translator of your capacity to interact detached from stimuli, like an honest truth machine, which knows me better than I do and tells me what I want. Okay, thank you, Ares. Thank you for that question. A similar thing happened to me when I started off in human design. I sat down and the question was, question 1, 2, 3. And yeah, it didn't resonate with me. And if they'd asked me, Richard, do you want to answer questions to engage the sacral? Or if they'd given me something to respond to in order to get into the exercise, then maybe that would have been helpful. But like you, I felt silent. You've got to understand that no matter how aware one thinks one is, the sacral is not an awareness center. It's a response mechanism. So let's say, for the sake of argument, you went through 2 hours of being asked questions and it really wasn't going anywhere. But you were trying to do your best, and I really respect that. But let's say someone at the end of the room calls out, hey, does anyone want a cup of tea? I'm sure you would have gone, yes, I want to stop sitting here getting nowhere, and yes, I'd like a break, and yes, I'd like a cup of tea. It's a response. It's the life responding to something that you can do, that you can get involved with, that your energy is moving to. And often with the sacral, there is some noise. It's not a word necessarily. It's not necessarily I mean, that's an example. You have the 9th gate in you. It's the gate of intensity. It may be something like a just a abruptness to it, perhaps. You don't have to sound like it says in the book. It's just a general description. So good for you. I would say you responded absolutely correctly in not being interested in answering any of the questions and fell silent. I mean, after all, it's about getting involved with motion. It's like feeling the energy to be able to do something about it. If someone came up to you and said, hey, Aries, do you want $1 million? Do I want $1 million? Yeah. It'd be an affirmative, probably, but it wouldn't be a response. If you're out walking with someone and you've gone for, I don't know, 5, 6 miles and some of it's uphill, some of it's downhill, and then you see a chair there, you see one of these wonderful chairs they put out in the countryside, and you're looking at that, and immediately it's like, and you ask the person you're walking with, do you want to sit down for a while? And they go, yeah, or then you sit down. You've got a perfect view. It's the right time for a break. You're content sitting there. It's a response. It's something your energy can move into and do. So yeah, I think there's certainly a limit with questions and their effectiveness. It's not real life, if you put it like that. If you're hungry and let's say you've been out and about and you've only had 2 pieces of toast in the morning with a cup of coffee and you haven't eaten for, I don't know, 8 hours. Then listen to the body. When you smell something beautiful as you're walking down, you go, and you follow the aroma and get yourself something to eat. The body will take you there. The body will make it very clear that you're hungry and you want to eat, if you do. So that's what I would say to that. And yes, in your chart, you have a 2 looking to the 14. You have a 15 looking to the 5. So when that's in the transit field or in a person around you, there is this connection. There is this energy flow that's more available to follow your sacral. So in that sense, being split in the way that you are, there's this sense of you just need a little support to get on into your direction, which is, in this case, it's the 1333. Great mythical direction, that one. But by yourself, you might not do anything. You may be waiting for the pulse to come through the channel of mutation in you, and the pulse comes when it comes. So that's my response to you. You've got a fixed ajna. You will tend to overthink things, and given anything to think about, like questions, that's where the mind will go, thinking about them. So my suggestion is you experiment in real life and watch the body, witness the body responding. Just the other day, I was talking to someone about various things that could be done, and there was really no response. This was a manifesting generator. So I read that as not interested, not interested. And then I mentioned something that they actually wanted to happen. And there was a whole smile and a movement in the body. And it was like, this person has now come alive. They've come alive because there's something that can be done that they want to get done. That's a response. So let's go further into the authority with a question from Astrazu. Here's the question. I have some question on my mind that's been bothering me as an emotional generator. I experienced many times in my life before learning about human design, where at first I didn't want to do or didn't feel the sacral energy to do something. But after I did it, I felt much better. And dare I say, even more satisfied. But isn't this against what HD, especially for sacral types, all stands for? I've also noticed many other people say the same, regardless of type even. It's very good to engage in one's life. And for generators, it's about doing something in the life, using your energy well, using your energy according to who you are and what you're available for. So if you went into something and you didn't really feel like it, but your energy was moving anyway, you would have been involved with the process of doing, and then it would have been done. And that's always feels satisfying when you have done something, rather than just thinking about it, rather than just feeling about it, but actually doing something usually feels good. I think the best way to answer this question is to remind you that the sacral is there not only to do, but to keep on doing. If it's correct for you, to go on and on with it, to pour your energy into it because the response was correct. Very different from doing something for a short amount of time and then feeling the satisfaction of it being done, and then it's over, or you face your fears and you get through it and you go, yeah, I did it. That's a different thing to going in there every day and continuing to do it and building something from it. The sacral is there to build, and it's there for life, the life force to build something. Very different from just going through a short experience. After all, if we go into an experience, we don't really know what's involved, what we're going to encounter. And you might find aspects of something you do that you enjoy that you didn't think you were going to enjoy. You might not even thought it was going to be part of the experience. So there is that element of discovery also when you get into something. However, if you really didn't want to do it, and let's say you had the 3410, you wouldn't do it. It just wouldn't happen. you know, or it would be a lot of frustration in having to do it. So think about the general themes. It's either satisfaction or frustration. And getting something over by doing it, at least your energy is involved in it. And then it's done. But think about what it's like to build something. Think about what a genuine response is. It's actually involving the flow of energy through the doing it, no matter how long it takes. And that's a very different thing. And when you say, well, you've noticed it even in other types, well, other types can enjoy, the projectors can enjoy the success of getting something done or creating something. Manifestors, if you want to compare generators and manifestors, it's probably a good thing to do. A generator will, if they've responded to something, they'll get into it, they'll be doing it. The manifestor comes along, maybe they started, in fact, and you're both working together. Then you stop for a break, and after the break, you're ready to go back into it. But the manifestor, it's like, okay, that's enough. We've been at it for 3 hours. That I don't want to work anymore. That's it. You know, they don't want to keep on keeping on. Okay, so think about it in that way. And again, as to the first questioner, to actually watch in your own life about when you're really locked into something, when something is really right for you, then there will be this energy that gets engaged. Life is movement. Energy needs to move. It's using the energy, having your energy used well in a way that you're available to use it. For example, if you haven't got the 40-second gate, you don't have the power to finish things all the time. You just don't. If you're working with someone who has that, it's a different story. So it's a bit general in terms of the question you've asked me. I don't know exactly what it was that you went through, etc., etc. I don't know your chart. So I can't be more specific. But think about it in that way. Think about the energy actually being used to build something and to continue to be available according to what your sacral gates are. Interesting question. Thank you for asking it. And now a question from Jessica about her emotional authority as a generator. I have a question about how to make correct decisions using my emotional authority. My difficulty lies in understanding how I wait for clarity to make a decision without engaging my brain in the interim. I have a logical channel. I have a habit of overthinking how I feel about a decision or underthinking and acting spontaneously on my emotions in the moment. Overall, I don't think either process has led to correct decisions. Is there a tension in my chart making the experiment more difficult? Or is correct decision-making a challenge for everyone starting in the experiment? Well, thank you for the question, Jessica. And you have a very interesting chart when it comes to following your inner authority. You have all 3 awareness centers, the Ajna, the solar plex, and the spleen. Not only that, there are joins in your split definition in 3 ways. The 16, the 20, and the 22 will all join up. So when any of those 3 gates are fixed around you, so someone is in your aura that has any one of those 3 gates, or there's a transit field, then there will be this movement of energy in order to manifest something. The movement of energy will reach to the throat. As I said earlier on, when someone has a fixed ajna, it is more difficult to follow your energy or to know what your response is in the moment, because you will overthink things. Or when, let's say, the 22 comes in, you will spontaneously jump in according to your feelings. So, neither are correct. More than that, you have the one gate out of all the gates that doesn't make a sound. The 34th gate has no sound itself. It is the most powerful of all gates. It has to power up the 57, the 10, and the 20. And as a result of that, it doesn't have a voice as such. but it is still the movement of energy. There's a rise of energy, in the example I gave earlier on. When someone really responds, it lights up the whole face. You know, there's a movement of energy. It's clearly obvious that something has been ignited in that person. And that's really what you want to wait for. How do you cope with it as an emotional being is when you feel that energy rise and you want to dive in straight away, step back, breathe, breathe. Okay, I want to dive in now. But you know that from your own experience that, you know, 3 days later, you may regret diving in, or even sooner if it's dangerous. So it's not right for you to dive in because of the emotional processing that has to go on with you. However, seeing that the life force is moving through you, feeling that energy moving through you, possibly with awareness as well, you have a strong, ambitious energy, you know, to move on up, you know, to get somewhere, to get in control of your own financial life, basically. I mean, the 54, the 32, and the 44 are all there. So there is this side of you that is ambitious and doesn't want to fail. So that is always going to be there, but it needs to be correct. And you're a 1-3. So, you know, 1-3s like myself, you know, we are designed to have a go, and we are also designed to learn from our mistakes, to make mistakes. That's part of how we learn. That's part of how we grow in this life. It's just the way it is. And you are beginning the experiment. So I would encourage you to keep at it, okay? When you're talking to other generators and you ask them a question, remember, generators are not to be told what to do. They're here to be asked. Would you like to do this? You know, would you like to be involved with the doing? Then there's something to respond to. So when you ask that to another generator, see if you can spot their energy moving in them. The whole, as I say, the whole face will light up. It's not just a matter of, the whole face will light up. They'll become more alive, just as you will. The thing that you know about yourself is you need to process emotionally before you jump in. So when you respond, when the energy is there to jump into something, breathe. Give yourself a bit more time. Give yourself a bit more time. That's the way I would play it. And that little trick will take you deeper into your experiment. So please try that. Thank you for your question. And also, I would like to say for you and everyone else watching, don't get too caught up in, you know, am I being correct or not? You're in an experiment. You know, watch, witness what's going on. You know, allow yourself to make mistakes. See how that feels afterwards. See what the result is. See what happens when it is correct, when you've got the energy to keep on doing something. When you're loving what you're doing with the 34th gate, you got to love what you're doing. Then you're going to do it. Then you're going to be happy to go and do it because it's in alignment with who you are. It's not about what you want. It's about what you're available for as a generator. If you don't have a will and your authority isn't willful, it's not about what you want. It's about what you're available for, what you're available to build, how your energy needs to be used in a way that is satisfying. But you can also learn when you go into something incorrect, you know, and then you feel more frustration and you're pushing against resistance. You know, let resistance be an indicator to you that you made the wrong decision. And if you want to give up halfway, which is what often happens with generators, then it's not right for you. If it's a correct decision, even if it's hard and your energy is involved with it, you're going to push through it. That's the difference. Keep going. You're doing fine. Just be honest with yourself and everything will sort itself out eventually. And the final question has a bit of a humorous side to it, I think. This is from one of our regulars, Deep Learning for Growth. This is her question. I once told a generator that they are here to work and that sometimes they can work for really long hours if they have a response to it. And that person got really offended. I later found out that they have a defined ego and the 45th gate. Would you say that a generator with such a design isn't here to work? Or how should we phrase it to respect their design? Well, if you're a generator, you will have energy that you've got to use every day. It doesn't have to be involved in work. It can be involved in play. It can be involved in sport. It can be involved in going for a lovely walk. You know, it doesn't have to be work, but it is to be used. However, if you're the 45th gate, you know, you're the CEO, you're the boss, you're the king, you're the queen. You know, you don't want to work. You want other people to work for you in your company that you own. This is the gate of I have or I haven't. It's not about working for it. It's about trying to get other people to work for your company while you work less and less. This is a kind of built-in mechanic, not just for the 45, but for all wills. You know, the only exception would be the 40th gate. The 4037 will work for love. It's a different thing, but work for work? No, the 45 will work as a one man or one woman show. If they've got their 21, they'll use that will to be able to get where they want to get to. There's a certain amount of wanting involved in there, to use your precious will to achieve something. It is, after all, a manifestor channel. But if they find themselves working too hard, and I've seen that a lot, it's really awful for them, you know? It's like, God, I feel like a failure because I've still got more work to do. I'm not getting the money that I thought I was going to get. It's all a bit of a nightmare. So I'm not surprised they were offended. And I think the key word is the word you've already used. The key word is respect. Respect the wills, and especially respect the 45s. I mean, yes. So what's a better way of putting it? Think about the 45's way of speaking. 45 will speak about we. It's tribal. It's the head of the tribe. We are involved. So I would ask a question like, we'd love to have you join us in what we're about to do. Would you like to? So you're respecting them. We would love to have your company. We would love to have your energy involved in this. Would you like to? You can say no. No, it's going to be too much work. I don't want to work anymore right now. Or it might be, yeah, I'll come and join you in that. And then you'll see them really being the boss of that. A chance for them to shine, a chance for them to be around their people that really need them. Think in terms of that. Think in terms of that, and also if there is a material reward involved as well. It is, after all, the money line we're talking about. But the number one thing is respect. So you saying to a 45, you're here to work, is not, you know, they're not going to like that. What, you mean keep on working? No. Work for a short amount of time, have a nice holiday, and then maybe do a bit more, but not work all the time. No. No fixed will want to work all the time. And no 45 will want to work all the time. That's not part of the way they think about the world. They will use their energy in a way to get themselves on a course where they own something, where they have their company, where they're proud of their company, where other people respect the company name that they've built up. That's a different thing. So you think about that. Think about the we, think about the ownership, think about the joining with others who are loyal to them. It is, after all, the 45 who gathers people together for a common cause. It's really them to ask you, would you like to be involved in my project? Rather than you saying to them, you've got to work. It's cheeky and disrespectful. I think they would probably see that. I know you didn't mean that, but it can be seen in that way from the viewpoint of the 45. And again, I don't know their full charts, so I'm having to generalize. So I hope that's helpful, and I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you viewers have enjoyed it. And if you have, please like, share, and subscribe. And I should be back again next week with the 2026 New Year's Rave overview. Something to look forward to. I'll see you then. Bye.